Hi, the last time I met you on a video like this, I was more on a venting mode, obviously heartbroken, but today I want to do this different. This time I want to bring some questions and some solutions, especially when it comes to this online training and the trolling incidents by and large that are still continuing. Because it's really heartbreaking to see that both the sides are unhappy. Obviously, when you see images like this and this, you know one thing for a fact that both the sides are unhappy. Well, students were always, anyways, because whether it is physical classroom or online training, students don't like sitting inside classrooms. Most of them. Again, I have the experience as well, been there, done that. But I think with the episodes related to Zoom and other online platforms, especially when it comes to classes happening online, I think it's safe to also guess that teachers also don't like to do sessions via Zoom as well. Well, let's start with the most basic question if we have to even address this. That is, where does the problem actually even lie? Because before I go to both the sides, in terms of understanding both the sides and giving ideas and solutions, it's important for you to also understand that the entire system is intertwined. It's going to create a domino effect. It's already started creating a domino effect. Well, for students out there, if you're listening to this video, I want you to understand the kind of situation that your parents are in and the kind of situation that you're putting your parents in. Because think about it. In all possibility, your parents are facing pay cuts. I hope, touch wood, the worst has not happened and will not happen, that is, loss of jobs. And even at the risk of losing their jobs and with those pay cuts, they have EMIs, whether it's the house, the car, or anything else, they have the burden. Unfortunately, at this time, the necessary burden of taking care of your fees as well. Now, you might argue and say that why pay fees, ignore, let's not even have classes. But then the system is connected, isn't it? Because the institutions in which you're studying are not some small shops that can just lock and vanish one day. They are established educational institutions who have a mighty staff, overhead costs, teachers, and all of them again have families. Their salaries feed those families. And you cut one, then you automatically cut the other. That's where the domino effect is. Everybody is in distress. Your parents, to your teachers, to the staff, support staff, to the education institutions, and caught in this entire storm is another storm that you are facing. So many people under distress, especially the final years where they might finish their education but might not even have opportunities in sight. If they are, they're very few, and there are a vast majority of the students who are going to pass out in this very same year. That domino effect is going to impact everybody. And that's where there is a need for greater interdependence. Both the sides need to re-look at education, self-education, the way formal education is parted as well. Let's first address the students, then I'll come to the teachers. Students, this is for you. I want you to see this from a benefit point of view. Look at the benefits. I'm sorry, I'm putting this across in this fashion. Look at the benefits this pandemic has brought to you. You don't have to go to education. Education comes to you. Isn't that a benefit? Because this pandemic is not a staycation for you. This is not a vacation for you where you stay at home, play a PlayStation and do nothing. Because if you do nothing, you get nothing in the future. But the benefit is, education is coming to your doorstep, to your own house. Wasn't that something that you always dreamt of? You don't have to wear any formals. If formals was the dress code. You don't even have to wear those fancy casuals. also an advantage for you that you don't have to travel. Because if you live in a city which is like my city, Bangalore, oh, you know how traffic is such a menace in cities of India. Such a waste of time. You don't have to do that. Probably the 1 hour or 1.5 hour or 2 hours that you wasted traveling, you get to play PlayStation or do something out of that which is fun. Just Netflix and chill in a different way, of course. But in spite of all of these advantages, you don't seem to understand the consequences this pandemic has for you. So the question is, what should you do? Well, to start with, I want you to sit and think about this. Why are you even getting yourself the education? What is the motive? What is the objective of education? Because the last time I checked, education is an investment. A good investment has good returns. A bad investment has bad returns. What kind of an investment are you making for your future? If that's a garbage investment, if you somehow seem to not be interested, then when you need to actually use that investment, you won't find any. And also, ask this question to yourself. Who are you deceiving? Who are you pleasing? Because you think by sitting through those Zoom sessions, just putting your audio on mute, turning off the video and doing anything just because you get your attendance, if that is a event worthy of celebration, then yeah, you kind of cheated the system, or you definitely cheated the system. But who did you deceive? Did you deceive your teachers? Or did you deceive your future? What kind of future are you asking for by actions of today? Often, every room that I walk into as a trainer, especially with the education institutions, I find the entertainers in the class. Well, these are unique entertainers. The reason why I call them unique is because they're the only entertainers in the entire world who pay to entertain. Pay their fees, of course, and then entertain the entire class. The last time I checked, entertainment was an honorable profession where they got paid. Oh, hefty payment for entertainment. Whether it's a stand-up comedian or an actor, they get paid. But you, the fancy entertainers, oh, look at you. You think that you're cool without understanding that you're actually just one letter away from being that word cool. Because I don't want you to end up like a fool. Especially when you are the cool dude or the dudette, usually a dude, not to be sexist, who wants to entertain the entire class, make the entire class laugh, and then 10 years down the lane, 15 years down the lane, people think about you and still laugh. Wondering, still there only, hasn't changed at all, still irresponsible and won't change as well. I want you to think about this. I want you to link your now to your future. What are you doing today that is going to get you in future? We should in fact be even more serious about education. You know why? Because you should also be serious about self-education. What your teachers are teaching you, is that enough? In all their best efforts, even that is not enough. Because the world is changing so rapidly that you need to learn a lot more things than what is taught in your college. But here you are, you don't even want what your teachers are teaching you, and you won't even learn what you're supposed to learn on top of that. Wow, amazing. Kudos to your efforts. And to the vast majority, who are the innocent ones, who are the bystanders of all the drama and the trauma that you witness, that is done by some of your crook classmates, ask this simple question to yourself. When you see wrong happen around you, you're part of that wrong. You've participated in that wrong. Don't you think it's important for you to also educate your own fellow classmates, batchmates, friends? Because you need to educate and inform them about the seriousness. And if after you've done your due diligence of informing and educating, if they don't want to change, then do what you should have done long time back. Report them. Give their name. And for all of you who are out there who still think that by bullying and trolling your teachers is a very fancy, honorable profession that you've taken for yourself, without any pay, of course. Think about it. If you get caught, this pandemic will be over one day for sure. You'll have to go back to the same institution. You'll have to face the same teachers. With what face will you face them? I would be ashamed of myself if I was in your place doing what I was doing, if it was to hurt anybody. Forget a teacher, anybody. To even hurt a classmate of mine is wrong. Well, I can go on about students, but let's also talk about teachers, because you also have a role to play. Again, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm Mr. Know-it-all. No. I'm a trainer, I'm a teacher, I'm also a learner. Well, first, let's start with benefits that you have. First of all, one outright benefit that I see is I know how it is to stand for such long hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, 4 hours, and how those feet at the end of the day give up on you. How it can drain your energy, especially handling some of the most notorious students in your class, that too physically. You don't have to go through that. You get to sit, you get to teach them. You have to take care of your back, of course. Also, the same thing, no traveling for you. You don't have to waste time traveling. You don't even have to get into those trivial chores that you have to do in your college. And outright, one big benefit that I see is you get to reinvent yourself, upskill yourself, because you also get that extra time to learn a lot more than you actually did. Let's talk about what you should do. Since I spoke about you need to learn, let me start from there itself. Because you are a teacher, no doubt, but you will be a student forever, no doubt. You also need to learn. And you can also do the same thing what your students do. So many of your students go to YouTube and learn so many things. It's time you do as well. Go YouTube. Teaching using Zoom, for example. I just did that before I recorded this video. I was shocked that there were so many videos. Pick a few. Learn the new rules and tricks of the game and play it in the way you want to. Whenever I'm faced with certain challenges, I always tell this to my trainers. And every time I do any faculty development programs, I tell this to my audience. Ask yourself what your favorite teacher would do and do it every single day. Same thing, in this time as well. Your favorite teacher, back when you were a student, what would your favorite teacher do in situations like these? And do it. Be more closer to your favorite teacher. But sometimes we teachers also are guilty. We tend to forget how it was when we were in college. And instead of trying to emulate our best teacher who we met, we inch more closer towards the worst teacher that we ourselves dreaded the most. That's something that I want you to ponder on and think about. Also, it's important for you to understand that this whole world is moving towards a tech frenzy. The traditional methods are going to slowly die out. Slowly, no doubt. But then there are futuristic ways in which you can teach, and Zoom and other online platforms are that. In this tech savvy world, I think teachers also need to understand how they need to get more tech savvy as well. Because this is an opportunity for you to evolve using more innovative teaching methods. If online teaching has limitations, see how you can bridge those limitations. How you can create some innovative ways of engaging your students when it comes to giving them exercises, when it comes to just giving them a small break, or just having some amount of fun for that 1 minute or 2 minutes or 5 minutes, where you as a class, including you, get to laugh together. You can even have those notorious kids give out a joke, of course a healthy one, in the middle of the session, where We all can laugh. You all can laugh. I want you to also understand this, that the minute you get more tech savvy, oh, you never know, it might open up a future avenue of income as well for you. Where, just like how a Baiju started a small coaching center and then understood the need for the business to go online and is sitting on a multi-billion-dollar business, you too can have success stories like that if you learn to move with the tide. Because if I have to be honest, I hated the idea of online education because I always loved the personal connect, walking into the classroom, talking to the students, interacting with them. But then I also said to myself that sometimes necessity is the mother of all inventions. And in this case, inventions are already done. We need to use those inventions to the best of our ability. Before we end, a message to both the sides. Both of you, mind you, need something, and you need that desperately. That is empathy. It's important for you to step into each other's shoes. Teachers, never forget how it was for you to be a student, how you hated some of the classes and why you hated some of those classes. As I said earlier, be more closer to your favorite teacher than the teacher that you hated the most. And students, think how you would feel if you were there in place of your teacher, facing all that harassment, trolling and bullying relentlessly, and yet those teachers of yours put up a brave front. Sometimes, yeah, they do get angry, but most of the times they put up a brave front. And lastly, remember, I'm tired of listening to this. Social distancing, the need for social distancing. No doubt there's a need for social distancing physically, but then emotionally, we should not be distancing. There's a more desperate need for us to stay more emotionally connected. I hope you will do some amount of introspection. Both the sides will do some amount of introspection and make those necessary changes for the entire system to stay. Until next time, I hope you'll take care of yourself and your family and have a happy life.